Colors in my head, dishes in the kitchen sink, radio humming, the birds are singing, calling in the morning breeze. Pictures on the shelf, whispers of another life, footsteps fading, feeling haunted, chasing down the evening light. I'm not one of the young anymore, time's got me down. If this is meant to be, then why am I spinning out? Walking the line like somebody who's figured it out. I've never been this old before. Told you better do it all right now. The moment's fleeting, disappearing. Go and find it in the clouds. I'm not one of the young anymore, time's got me down. If this is meant to be, you ready to see your babies? They're hungry, Bella. Good morning, guys. It is so exciting. After a long, cold winter, we are back in milk. And so we're doing our normal milking routine with the does. We're locking the babies up at night. That way Mama can fill up her udder with milk. We come out and milk in the morning. And after we milk, we release the babies to be back with Mom for the rest of the day. Bella is still in that stage where she's super, super full. Normally I go in and milk both hands at the same time, but when she's hard like this, I've got to kind of milk her out a little bit, which kind of softens the teats and the udder. And then I can get in there and really work with both hands, which is much faster.
Oh, wow. She is hard.
She is full. So Joe helped me out this weekend. He modified my milk stand. Hi, Bella. And put it up on higher legs. So that way I don't have to hunker down underneath. It was just killing my neck having to hunker down so low. So he lifted my milk stand for me and then made a little box for Bella and Tilly to hop up on. So this is much better for my neck. So we actually had to start separating 2 of Tilly's triplets because she now has triplets since we gave one of her babies to our friend. We started realizing that Sasha, her all black baby, she was not letting her drink milk. It was the weirdest thing. I actually observed them for a solid 3 or 4 days, and every time Sasha would try to nurse, Tilly would kick her off, but she stands for the other 2. Obviously, Sasha's getting some milk at some point throughout the day when I'm not out here watching because she's healthy and she's okay, but she's definitely smaller than her sisters, and I have just noticed that Tilly doesn't stand for her. So what we've been doing at night, whether we're milking Tilly or not, we separate the 2 sisters into the overnight pen and leave Sasha out with Mom all night long so she can get milk from Tilly at night, first thing in the morning, and then we let the other 2 back out to be with Tilly all day long. And it just kind of ensures that sweet little Sasha here gets some milk too. Everybody's curious. Everybody's curious what this camera is. Are you following me, Matthias? Good morning, Luna. What about analyze? This Y has the long I sound.
You like my school?
Margaret, can you hear me? Yeah.
Oh, so
I
that's,
love you too. That's
so
cute.
that's not right then?
That is right. It has both.
Oh.
Wait, right? There's only in which Y is a short I. Oh no, that's not right. Because analyze, that Y has a long I sound.
Analyze.
Yeah, analyze. So you're going to analyze the document. I've confessed to you guys many times before that I am not the artsy crafty kind of homeschool mom. I'm just not. But KiwiCo has been such a fun addition to our homeschool because it gives the boys a chance to really be creative and build things hands-on without me having to plan every little detail. I'd like to say a big thanks to KiwiCo for sponsoring today's video. KiwiCo crates come with hands-on projects that our kids get to actually build themselves. And they just get so excited, you guys, because these little projects are super nifty and they actually work. Like their little lantern lights up, the little piano makes sound, and it's just really fun for them to build and create. KiwiCo shows up right to our door every month, so it's one less thing that I have to remember. I don't have to run around gathering supplies and purchasing things for projects ahead of time. Everything you need is right there in the crate and you're ready to go. I've noticed when these projects hit our table, the boys genuinely get so excited. They'll sit there figuring things out together, testing stuff, laughing when things don't work out the first time, and then they're always so proud to show off their finished product. As a family that is super intentional about limiting screen time, I find that when I put these engaging hands-on activities in front of the boys, they actually prefer this over video games, and so that makes my mama heart super happy. I just love that KiwiCo blends creativity, problem solving, and independent learning into our homeschool routine so that it doesn't feel forced and schoolish. If you want your kids or maybe even your grandkids to experience the magic of KiwiCo and you'd like to support our channel, click the link down in my video description and use my code HFA for 50% off your first monthly crate. Learning can often feel like something our kids have to get through, but KiwiCo keeps them curious and wanting to learn more. So Joe is outside working on the barn while we were away from you guys. Over the past week, we had one day where we had a little bit more sun than rain, and Joe decided to go out and finish all of those rafters, the hayloft portion of the barn. That's kind of been something that we've just kind of been putting off because it's challenging up there. And we've, the winter made it hard for Joe to get up there, and like now the rafters are done and he's putting in like the little support stabilizers down the center and just kind of moving on with that, and then we can order the roofing panels and get that done, and then the whole barn will officially be covered with roofing panels. So that's a really exciting step. Did you guys see this morning? I don't even want to touch it. It so grosses me out. It's not even real. Do you see this right here? Yeah, that's Joe. Sometimes we will have like a family movie night, and these boys decided that they wanted to watch Arachnophobia. Quite often, Joe and I will share some of like the oldie but goodie movies like Sandlot and Harry and the Hendersons and all the things we grew up watching. And so Parker was like, can we watch Arachnophobia? And I'm like, look guys, I hate that movie because I hate spiders. I absolutely cannot stand spiders. They terrify me. Everybody has their thing. Spiders are my thing. And I told you before, I grew up in the desert of Arizona and California where we had snakes, scorpions, tarantulas, spiders, black widows, like all the things. And so you would think I would be immune to that, but I'm not. So I'm very grateful that I live in Alaska because even though we do have spiders here, like daddy long legs, little wood spiders, things like that, we do not have poisonous spiders in Alaska, but they're still ugly, right? They're still ugly and they're still scary. So ever since we watched Arachnophobia the other day, these fools are running around the house putting fake Halloween spiders in my bathroom drawer. Like I opened the cupboard to get the coffee cups out yesterday and Joe had taped a spider to the cupboard on the inside. And then I woke up this morning to this. For any of you that have actually seen the movie Arachnophobia, it's about a infestation of poisonous, toxic, mean, scary, deadly spiders. And it's like, I watched that movie for the first time when I was a little girl, and some of the things from that movie have stuck with me my entire life. Case in point, anytime I stick my hand up a lamp shade to turn it on or to turn it off, I think of that movie because remember the old lady on the movie did that and then the spider was up in the lampshade waiting for her and it stung her, bit her, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, that's what this is. But that's just Joe for you. He's a jokester. He's been a jokester since the day I met him and he's always picking on me, teasing me. And it's kind of funny because since the beginning of our marriage, we had this little Halloween spider. You guys know the little plastic ones you can buy and put in the fake webs. And for years, he had the same spider. And for years, he would terrify me with it. I would open the silverware drawer and it would be sitting on the silverware. He would even tie it up with string so that when I opened doors or cupboards, the spider would drop down on me. This spider thing has been going on forever and now he's got the boys doing it. And I, quite frankly, I don't find it very funny at all because it about makes me pee my pants every time. But watching Arachnophobia this week was not a good idea because it's just reignited. He hadn't done it for a few months and it's just reignited this excitement of scaring me. Well, Joe was working on the barn. I went out looking for you, Joe, and I couldn't find you. He's down in the control room of the Watson residence working on the furnace yet again. I feel like with all the money, babe, we've spent on like parts and troubleshooting, we might have been able to just buy a whole new furnace. What say you? You know what I mean? A flow sensor. Okay, the short of it is the old one Joe thought was faulty. So he ordered a new one and it just came in the mail today. So he was gonna throw it on really quick. And the old one, the little, what do you call that thing, Joe, inside of it? The plastic thread of the old one broke inside the thing because it's like all corroded and messed up, which is why Joe, yeah, and it's plastic. And so he's having to get that plastic that's stuck in there out of it before he can put the new one in there. So it was supposed to be a quick, easy swap out, but things are never easy, right? That's the way it goes. Oh yeah, I see. Say your prior military without saying your prior military, Joe. Keep all your gun cleaning stuff in an ammo can. Huh.
Is that what you're supposed to do?
Sure, it works. Joe just spent about 15 minutes cleaning all the threads in there because that plastic was just caked in there so the new piece wouldn't screw on properly. And unfortunately, the threads on the new piece are plastic as well. It's not metal. He didn't want to just get the wrenches and like force it in there and then break the new part. So he had to do the tedious task of cleaning out all the threads inside that piece in the furnace so he could get that new part in there, but we got it on. Well, Joe did get the new part put on successfully, but unfortunately that wasn't the fix to the problem that we've been having. So overall, the problem we've been having is that our water is not heating up. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Joe thought that it was an issue with the flow valve in there, and I don't really know how to explain why, Joe. So this is where you come in. So basically, since it's warming up, because we have in-floor
so the
heating.
heat's not heating.
Yeah.
Because the floors are off because the temperatures are up. So it's not heating the water. And with whatever the issue is, it's not heating our faucet water because whatever component is messed up isn't doing it because these are off.
The floor heat's off.
Yeah.
So when the floor heat was on, there was water constantly flowing, and so it didn't have an issue. But now that the weather's warming up, we obviously aren't running the floor heat as much. So anyway, long story short, we have tried and failed. That is not the issue. So we do have is he a plumber? What is he? Like a furnace expert guy that Joe somehow got on a texting basis with. I don't know how, but he actually was the person that installed this furnace when this cabin was built. So he knows a lot about the history of this property. So Joe's going to just have to reach out to him, and he may just have to come take a look at it because, you know, you're super handy. But, I mean, even you have your limits, Joe. So phone a friend. Nothing wrong with that. Okay, so since we are back in milk, I'm really excited because I am going to be able to start making my homemade goat's milk soap again. You know, there's a lot of things that you can make homemade, but I really tend to like the soap because it's just minimal effort, but you get a big yield. Like you get, I don't know, I think I get like 10 to 12 soap bars out of this batch that I'm making today. I am going to create a recipe post over on our website, HomeFreeAlaska. So if you're curious as to the ingredients and the method of how I make this batch of soap, you can head over to the website and it will be there. So this is very, very simple. This is a tallow based soap. I use tallow, I use lye, I use essential oils from doTERRA to scent my soap. And that's pretty much it. It's very simple. And of course, goat's milk also. And goat's milk is very nourishing for the skin, moisturizing, very, very good for you. And this recipe right here, I just haven't deviated from it. There's a lot of different recipes online. Always make sure you use the soap calculator to make sure you have your lye, fat ratio, oils, and all that correct, because this is a little bit of like a science experiment. So when you're using lye, you just want to be careful with it. So even though we are indoors creating the soap, I'm going to open up the back door here, get some airflow. I do have my gloves that I wear when I'm mixing my lye, but I'm very careful. And you can wear safety glasses if you want to and do all the things, but it does create a chemical reaction. So you just want to be careful with it when you're doing this homemade recipe. And then I have some fun, just dried herbs and things to sprinkle on top of the soap when we're done with it. Today, the scent that I'm going for, I don't know, like a fun, cozy cabin, woodsy vibe. So I have 3 different scents that I'm using from doTERRA. I've got cedarwood, Siberian fir, and rosemary. So it's gonna have a really hearty, woodsy Alaska feel to it. So I'm really excited. And then I'm gonna be sprinkling on some dried rosemary leaves on top. And here I just have some dried orange peel just to give it some texture and some pretties on the top when we're done. All right, I've got my beef tallow over here cooling off, and I'm using Joe's temperature gun here. So we want this tallow to be at 100 degrees, so I'm gonna let this cool down a little bit before we get started. So you can heat your tallow up, you know, any way you want to bring that to an oil form. I just typically use the microwave because it's faster. If you overheat it, you're gonna have to wait for it to cool down. So you just wanna make sure you watch that on slow increments to get that, you know, because when you open that beef tallow, it's like a solid and you need to render that down to an oil before we can do the soap making process. So we've got a little bit of time to wait for that to cool down to 100. I'm gonna run down to the basement and get my goat's milk out of the freezer. What I typically do is put my goat's milk in ice trays, and the reason I do that is because once you start mixing the lye with the goat's milk, it heats up super fast and you don't want it to get really, really hot. So I just found when I make the goat's milk ice cubes, when I'm mixing that with the lye, it just helps it to heat up slowly versus like heating up rapidly. So what's really fun with the homemade soap, you guys, you can look online. There's so many recipes. There's so many different, you can do different colors and make swirls. I mean, you can do all kinds of things, and I just have a lot of fun with it. I do tend to keep it simple, like I said, and I stick to the same recipe because it's kind of like if it ain't broke, don't fix it type thing. And it's just been my go-to recipe for years, and it makes beautiful soap bars. Okay, so I've got all my goat's milk ice cubes in here, and I'm gonna just slowly add our lye solution just a little bit at a time while I'm mixing it in with my spoon. This is the part you don't wanna hover over this. You don't wanna be breathing this in. Okay, so you can see here that my lye and milk solution is nice and creamy. Okay, so you want to mix this until you get to a consistency that's called trace in soap making. Yogurty consistency. I don't know if you can see that. So that's where we want it to be. So I'm going to go ahead and mix in our essential oils now. And then we'll get this poured into our soap mold. So at this point, you can leave this just the way it is. Let this set for 24 hours, and then you would slice your soap bars. I just like to make it pretty, and so I come in with my spoon and I just kind of push up these little waves, I guess you could call it, of soap down the center. They even have powders and stuff that you can use to color your soaps and, you know, make pretty swirls of different colors. I'm sure you guys have seen at the booths at the fair and things like that, people that sell goat's milk soap. You can do so many fun things with it. And I've got some dried orange peels here. So this is a really rustic, rustic bar. We're gonna call this our rustic Alaskan bar here. And the last thing I'm gonna do before I set this down in the basement overnight is spray this with a little bit of alcohol. And that just helps it not to get like little bubbles and stuff on top. So our soap mold is all done. Okay, the coldest part of our basement just happens to be the home gym, which works out great because when you're working out, that's really nice. So I'm gonna leave this in here overnight and it'll be ready to slice up into soap bars tomorrow.
In the town on the hill where the apples grow, the church bells ring every hour or so. I took a little walk just to see the ships coming in. The sun rose up right above the highway, black, blue, red, yellow, golden skyway. It's like the day that you jump into the wind. I can't go back down to that water again. These old muddy shoes keep on walking the streets. Someone's bride buying Egyptian sheets. The window display of some little store in town. There's my reflection against the morning light. Hello, Mr. Ghost, Mr. Skeleton White. You better comb your hair, you better wipe that George Clay off your brow. You better stand up straight, man, these people hardly recognize you now.
You guys, yes, I occasionally put on like Celine Dion radio on Pandora because it takes me back to the day, back to like my middle school, high school days, and it brings on all the oldies. And we're sitting here, I'm making oatmeal for breakfast and we're getting ready to start our day, but I just had to tell you this funny story. I'm surprised Joe doesn't remember this, but back when Joe and I were dating, my dad, how do I put it? He didn't really like Joe. And there was no really good reason for it, but he just didn't really like Joe. I maybe that's like a dad's role, I don't know. And so he always tried to like minimize the time that I could visit with him. And I don't even know what I look like. Okay, I just threw my hair up and just realized that this is all like a hot mess. But he would let Joe come visit me at my house because it was like supervised and he could watch everything that was going on. And so we could have Joe over, I could have him over for dinner sometimes. And sometimes my dad would even let us watch a movie in our bedroom because my bedroom was like right next to the kitchen. So my dad could like easily like walk by and like see what was going on in there. So whenever my dad would let Joe come over and watch a movie, we would always try to pick movies with like that were long. So we watched, one day we picked the Titanic because it's a long movie. It's like almost 3 hours long. And every time we would get towards the end of the movie, we wanted to extend our time visiting, so we would rewind it and pretend like it wasn't over so we could stay together longer. I don't remember one time him coming in being like, that's a really long movie. That should have been over 3 hours ago. We would just keep rewinding it and like letting it play so we could spend more time together. Isn't that sweet? You don't remember that, Joe?
No, you made it up.
I did not make it up. How do you not remember that?
I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, Joe. He would do that. It's just such a sweet story. Aw, we were trying to spend more time together. And now look, we have each other every day for the rest of our lives. All day, Joseph. All day, Joe. Isn't that exciting? exciting? Daddy can't keep you away now, can he?
You can only go back.
You're like me with this food. I hope Lexi and James are doing okay. Please make it through sunny all day. Push in His name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Yeah, it's maple and brown sugar. So which flavor do you like better?
Brown sugar.
Brown sugar?
Probably brown sugar.
Yeah.
Is there protein in milk?
Mm-hmm.
There's a little bit though.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so our underdeck greenhouse dilemma. We redid this underdeck greenhouse when we first moved in here. We put in new corrugated plastic siding because it was just made out of old windows and they were all broken and messed up. You guys know we attempted to do a garden in here last year. It didn't really work out so well because the problem with this underdeck greenhouse is that it's under the deck. And so literally the only part of this space that gets sunlight is the boxes that are right in front of the window space. Everything back here doesn't get any sunlight. So it's kind of like wasted space. So we've, as you can see, this has become like our gardening shed here. We put all the snow sleds and like gardening tools in here, whatever we need it for. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on what we could use this space for. It works great for a gardening shed, but I really would like to utilize it in another way. We do use it as our meat hanging locker in the fall when it's colder. You guys might remember Joe put up a beam here, and this is where we hang the lambs after we process them and before we butcher them. So that works out great. Stays nice and cold in here, but it's also protected from predators and things like that. But what I would like to do today is clean up these garden beds here that are right in front of this window because I have a bunch of beautiful strawberries from one of our subscribers in Idaho. He sent me a ton of mature, wonderful strawberries, and right now they're in the greenhouse currently in tiny little pots that I put them in, and they need to be transplanted and so they have more space to grow. And I think that these boxes, since they do get sunlight, will be perfect for our little strawberry patch. Down there too or no? Do you see this? We have sunshine, guys. Every time the boys pray for sunshine, we get sunshine. Oh my gosh, look. It's sunny. Oh. Sorry, I know you guys probably get sick of me talking about the sunshine, but it's so exciting. I was gonna show you guys the greenhouse because you know we had all of the seeds started in the downstairs like pantry space with the grow lights, and a few days ago, maybe about 5 days ago now, Joe and I transferred everything out to the greenhouse and it is flourishing. It is doing wonderful. We got this cleaned out and the chickens moved into their new coop just in the nick of time. This is just perfect. Perfect space for all these starts. You know, we're getting closer to the road restrictions being lifted in our area, so we can very soon haul in some dirt. You guys know we're gonna level out this whole area and build fencing, a big rectangle garden space around this greenhouse. So that's a big project coming up very soon. I'm so excited. But for now, these guys are hanging out in the greenhouse. The cabbage are getting big. They're not gonna last much longer in these little pots. So hopefully the road restrictions get lifted sooner than later and we can get these guys transplanted outside. And then of course we have like all the onions and cabbage, all the strawberries from our friend in Idaho. Some of them clearly did not do well during transplant. These are most likely not gonna come back, but I'm gonna transplant them anyway into the garden bed and see if we can get them to come back. And I've got my herbs down here. Rosemary, thyme, oregano, my one little lonely celery plant that made it. I'm actually gonna prop the door open because it's hot in here, and cabbage and onions, they do not care for this kind of heat. And it's warm enough that I think the tomatoes will be fine with this door propped open, but they don't like it when it's hot like this. They start to wilt a little bit, so I'm gonna give them some air. wet. We have little buds. We got buds. All the little trees are starting to bloom, all the little blossoms, all the wild rose bushes, everything has got little buds on it. This is so exciting. We are so excited for this season. Like, summer is right around the corner. Remote cabin trips on the boat. I cannot wait. It's gonna be a beautiful summer. It's like coming out of a long, dark, snowy, cold winter. It's just so refreshing, and gosh, I love spring, but woo, summer is coming. Hi, Rusty. Are you playing outside? Oh, it's sunny. Hi, Rusty Roo. Back here we have a huge pile of like birch and cottonwood trees. I think there's another kind of tree in there, but the previous owner of this property used to have wood like this, logs hauled in, and he would split it and chop it up for firewood. So Joe has been talking about wanting to get this dealt with because his plan eventually is to level out this big clearing right here to make a spot to park all of his trailers, the snow machines, all the things. And he's even talking about maybe one day putting up a nice lean-to, something kind of like the woodshed here that he can park everything under. But for now, we kind of have trailers and snow machines and things scattered about the property. You guys might see some of that in the drone footage. And Joe and I are really particular about the way that, you guys know, the way our property looks. And so we try to keep things neat and clean and organized as much as we can. And so this is something he's really been wanting to tackle for quite a while. So we're gonna work on it today.
Once you let the light in, you won't see the beautiful stars shining down from afar. No, I ain't afraid of the dark. I don't mind the rain. Bring your life back. We can breathe again. When dealing with the pain. No, I don't mind the rain. That's the way it goes. Life will teach you what you need to know. And like a river flows.
No stealing
Life will take
No.
you where you need to go.
Okay, for you guys, that might have been, what, like 8 to 10 minutes of like a wood cutting segment, but for us, it's been, I don't know, probably 2 hours, 2.5 hours. We got one full row done and a little bit of another one down here. So now we have 2 rows on this side. Sent the boys in to make themselves lunch, and we're tired. I'm thirsty for some water, and then it is afternoon coffee time. I'm so tired.
We're just getting started, babe. This is just the beginning.
No.
Yeah.
Beginning of what?
The season.
What season?
The spring, summer.
Working season?
Yeah.
My back hurts.
Trying to.
Yeah. Okay, so I finished my coffee and then I poured another one. Well, not a whole one. I poured a half of one because it was left over in the pot and I didn't want to waste it. And it just, oh, it just smells so good. Anyway, it's soap cutting time. It should be. It's been over 24 hours, a little over 24 hours since we made our soap. And why am I still holding my cup like that? We're gonna cut into it and we're gonna see how it turned out. So I'm excited. This is the best part. Did you say you're better at cutting the cheese?
Yeah.
Well, we know that's true.
Need you look.
Here's the big reveal. Okay, so you can see some of these little lines on the side of the soap. And that's just because my batter was a little bit thicker than what I normally want it to be. With milk soap, sometimes it thickens super fast, and that's what happened to me yesterday. But it's totally fine, no worries. It's just because this went into the mold nice and thick. You like it? Mm-hmm. What do you smell?
Cleaner.
Cleaner? Mm-hmm. You're supposed to say you smell a woodsy cabin with firewood.
I smell a woodsy cabin with firewood.
Okay, I didn't ask you to be a parrot, Joe. Oh, so pretty. Yay. I'm gonna set this down in the basement on this rack for 4 to 6 weeks and let it cure, and then it will be ready to use.
I'm gonna let the sun shine in today. I'm trying to make this darkness go away. I'll paint with colors and I'll sing until my lungs give out. I'm gonna let the sun shine in today. And I will leave my windows open so that I can hear the sound of people talking and the wind blowing in the trees. Oh, I will open up my eyes so I can see the light. Try to spread my wings so I can fly. Oh, and the darkness starts to fade. Feels like things are gonna go my way. I'm gonna let the sun shine in the day.
You did it again, Joe. A wood snowman.
A wood nest.
That's he's got some nice britches on there. Look at that. Hi, guys. Oh, we gotta be down here.
When it's in winter mode, if the floor heat's on, it's heating the water. And then if you turn the faucet on, it should turn this on and heat the water also. But with the floor heating, it heats the water, so we don't really notice that this doesn't kick on. What am I trying to say? Anyways,
Wait, stop! I'm in the middle of like mid-laugh. You can't just keep, you gotta let me finish my laugh, Joe. Okay. Okay. Wait, I can't. Babe, I'm just really proud of you. You're doing great. You're doing great. Don't second guess yourself, Joe. You're the man. You do a good job of explaining the manly things. You got this.
Well, I'll have to explain that.
But my arm's getting tired from holding the camera up, so I do need you to hurry it along. Okay, wait. Can we stand up? I do need to switch arms. Ugh.
Come on.
Okay, so.
Splinter. Yeah.